is the intent why we come up on here. This is why we spew, again, specific to when we're talking about things that's relevant to how it could be perceived. We always like to approach it from a perspective of understanding what your rights of informed consent is. And as we touch on also to personal and developmental things as well, right? So you get the full. It's considered like a one-stop experience, right?
You know what? I want an abundance mentality. How would you make that into a narrative?
This is why I rock with you, King Drew. This is why, because you know how to put the questions out there. Again, so one more time, just in case, could you repeat yourself specific to the question? Right?
I said,
Yep.
You want me to repeat it, or you working on it?
Yeah, one more time. You can repeat it again.
So, the question is, if I lack an abundance mindset, what could I do to get that narrative out there? Like, is there like something you could tell me that's like, how do I get to that level where I start seeing myself being abundant, where I don't even need the stuff. Like, I don't even need to have the stuff. I just want to feel it. Because once you feel it, you already technically have it. You know? So that's
Right.
just my question.
Absolutely, right. So ultimately, the best way I can respond to that is this, right? We got to remember one thing for sure. This planet gives us all the abundance we could ever imagine. Every imagining the planet does, right? And only from this planet would you be able to ever get the abundance that you ever think you could ever get, is only from this planet, right? So meaning, if you're not directly linked to this planet in terms of manifesting that, and those abundance will never happen through a barrier, right? Because now it's being filtered through something, and then from that thing, you're now, so you now have a watered down version of what your abundance could be like, because again, it's going through a filter. So you have to eliminate the filter. You have to remove the filter. And the filter is this, the thing that tells you that you don't already have abundance, because that's the lie. When you came into this manifestation, into your creation, into your conception, you see, here's the thing, you already came in it with all the abundance. Again, it's earth. Earth is the abundance, right? So ultimately, this will be the thing that I would say, right? How do we perpetuate and that, right, is understanding that you have to remember that this planet is your birthright. That's the abundance right here, right? Nothing else will ever equal and or be that if you're not expressing it and experiencing it from that perspective, right? From your perspective. That's the only perspective that's relevant, and the only perspective that matters. The only other time that it can even be perceived as anything is if, like, how you and I is having a conversation and we're choosing to indulge one another. This is when when conversations will then matter in that regards. It's two individuals choosing to engage, and then they're having that exchange. But outside of that, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You know what I mean? So that's the abundance. That is the abundance right there. And we got to remember that. We have to remember that. We've forgotten that, but we will remember.
This is the thing that I had to realize about myself, is that a lot of the things that I do, a lot of people don't do. And for me, it's tough because I don't instantly see the results. I don't have the gratification right away. The book is done. Yes, I don't get to see the sales popping off the charts, whatever the case may be. I meditate every morning. I work out every morning and read. Like, I have to realize that with me, what I do is not what everybody else does. And for me, I dropped 30 pounds. I realize that a lot of things that I do, most people are dreaming about doing. But then again, I'm like, I don't really value it. So for me, I'm like stuck in this space where I'm like, I need to value the things I do. Because how many people are talking about they dropping 30 pounds? Don't worry, I'll wait. You'll talk about I want to lose weight. You'll talk about I'm going to get exercise with it. You'll talk about, this is my New Year's resolution. You'll talk about, I'll go get the exercise equipment that I'll never use. You'll talk about how I get this workout program that I will never use. You'll talk about all of these things that you will talk about. But the thing is, I actually went and go did that. I didn't even talk about it. I just went and did it. And you know what I did? I started on the same day. I set a date and I was like, you know what? This is the day I'm going to start. I ain't going to start on Monday. I'm not going to wait till Sunday. I'm not going to wait till specific time. This is when I'm starting. This is it. Like, hey, if you're going to do something, you need to do it now. We talk about this so many times. We can't express it enough. Go check out the podcast. If you're on YouTube, go check out the old video. I'll probably link it up here. Listen, if you want to do anything, start right now. Don't wait till Monday. Don't wait till it's the fresh week. None of that. Start right now. I'm telling you. So that's why I'm like, I think this is why I do things. I literally do things because I realize that, you know what, I want to be the person to say, hey, guess what? I did that. And that's why I wrote that book too. I think deep down inside, I want to be like, hey, you know what? I wrote a book. Before I even wrote a book, you can go back and check. My Instagram said I was the author. You can go look at my Instagram right now. My Instagram thing said that I was the author in 2020, and I ain't even write a page yet. So for me, it's like manifesting, literally. Even on my Instagram too, it always so said that I'm over. I ain't even there yet, but I'm gonna work towards it. So for me, I realize a lot of the things that, when it comes back to this word narrative, that's how you create the narrative. You literally have to put it out there and understand that, hey, everything along the way is a part of the journey. Ups, downs, rounds. It's not a straight shot. It's up and down. That's the fun part. I feel like we miss out on that. And when we miss out on that, we get caught up on, oh, it needs to be going straight. Because somebody told you it had success. Success is never a straight line. Because if that was the case, everybody would be successful. Come on. So enjoy the process. Trust the process. That whatever you're going through is necessary for your growth.
You're working towards your abundance. Your abundance. Your abundance.
Right. And again, this is why it's important for us to understand, like you just talked about, right, in terms of specific to your journey. Now, you have to ask yourself this. If you know that you're approaching a fork in the road, and at that fork in the road, you can now go down a road that is completely predicated based upon your conclusions, or you could continue down a path that you understand that it might have road lights, the road might be paved, and certain things. But again, now, so it's certain things that's familiar. So with that level of familiarity, you already understand that now you're now having to trade something in order now to gain access to that road. So simple. You have to say to yourself, when we give tribute to journeys or growth specifically, right? If we understand that our growth is only based upon our participation, meaning that, in the beginning they tricked us into making us think we had to take this lane, but then somehow there was an intervention and it found out that we do not have to be in that lane. We can actually hop in this lane. The question is, why would we choose to keep ourselves in a lane, then only then to say, yo, but this is a part of your growth? What growth? How can we, if we already know that in that overall lane, there's no growth. The only growth will be imprisonment. So you're bettering yourself, but only then to be in demises that keeps you in those conditions specific to mental health, right? People committing suicide just because why? Because they're saying that the system that they reside within, the pressures of just being a damn human in that system is so overwhelming that they rather be the opposite of life, which is death. Because why? Because they feel like they can't even express themselves. But again, why would you put yourself in that circumstances if you understand that you do not have to? You have to think about that, man. Like, you really have, because then why? Think about, can you imagine perpetuating your story based upon you actually being one with Earth, connecting with Earth, and being able to express and talk about those experiences versus these experiences, which is narratives that, again, only exist someone told you that you were black and every characteristics that follow it. So now, the I barely say anything black, I'm automatically accused by my accuser of how it's defined. The moment you give tribute to this system that is having power or authority over you, then you're already done. You're shot in the foot. That's it. It's over. If you go against that understanding, which is what you are free. And this again shows us how conditionalized we are, because it goes back to what I talked about earlier. How are we prioritizing our thoughts? Why would you talk like that if you know you can talk like this? Who am I giving power to besides myself first, before anybody else, in terms of to even utter the words that, yeah, man, that was tough, but you got to keep on grinding for who? All we're doing is giving that thing more energy, more of our energy, because we're trying to grind it out, right? So we really gotta look at it within the perspective of, again, the rhetoric. So, just food for thought, things for us to think about, because every time we go along with a certain narrative, we have to understand that we're giving that narrative power, the power of manifestation. We talk about it, right? So now, if we are not responsible for the core narrative, how are we planting the seeds, and what are we trying to sprout if we're not responsible for the core narrative? Everything that we do, it has to stem from us being grounded to earth first, and then everything else in terms of, if I'm choosing to indulge in this, then that's what that is. But we sit here and say that we have pain, suffering, demises. How can we say these things if we're in control of our path? That means we're not in control of our path. So that means we're not responsible for these things that's happening, which means that those things aren't us. We're not broken. We're not, we don't have to, figure it out, because why? This system is made that way. So we have to separate ourselves from that. It's not you, it's the damn system that has you thinking that something is wrong with you. So again, right, we got to, again, as humans, remember first, but despite you might want to see it, and I'm only speaking on this based upon how it's defined, that you are a God, period. You're God. Second, this planet Earth is your birthright. You can choose to refute it, you can choose to neglect it, but this planet is your birthright. And to solidify that, and I say to people, please do your own research. You have the right of self-determination. You have to understand that, because none of these things merely understand or matters if we could get to understand it. Man, we're wasting time in somebody else's reality, understanding why we're trapped in here, but we're the ones who's literally keeping ourselves a prisoner in that civilization. We're doing it to ourselves. I mean,
always go back to the narrative, and everything that is happening is a narrative, and most of it is control narrative to keep you in control, not to keep you in control, but keep controlling you.
Keep groomed.
Yeah. Exactly. Keep you groomed and continue to feed into the system. And you depend. Not only are you feeding into the system, you're dependent up on it, and meaning that you act accordingly. Like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna think this way. Why would I go down this road? I know there's a fork, but everybody's going to the left. Right? Even for me, and a perfect example I always give is, think about this. You're pulling up to a light. There's 5 cars ahead of you. It splits. There's 2 lanes. All 5 of those people in front of you go to the right. The left lane is open. The left lane is still going straight. Everybody goes to the right. And I'd be like, you know what? Well, thank you. I'm going to go to the front of the light while y'all try to figure that out. And then you see somebody behind from those 5 slide right in there, like, oh damn, I didn't even think about doing that until you see somebody else doing it. So I think that's how you break it. That's the break right there, where you are you, whoever is watching this, you have to be the person to be like, you know what, let me
No,
nothing annoying.
mine.
Let
Me
me get
make
this
my
out.
own mind.
That too, I agree. But it's like when you come from one lane to two lanes, and you have everybody just lining up in that singular line because they're too scared to think that if I go down here and this lane is turning left, I'm gonna have to try to get it. I don't care. I don't care. Because if I see that lane is open and I didn't know that, or even if I did know, best believe I will pull a life first and yeah, swoop on in. When I light hit green, I'm gone. But I'll see it all the time, and I'm just like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate y'all just staying in y'all lane, and I'm just gonna go over here, this free lane right here, and then everybody else gonna follow through. You're like, oh damn, I could have gone over here this whole time. Yeah, you can. So very interesting, great build. I appreciate it having you on D custom. You already know what time it is. I wish license here, but we already know we have to set up a specific time for that guy. You gotta respect his time. Respect your time to be, of course, life. I appreciate having you here. If you haven't seen this live, I don't know what to tell you. If you're seeing it now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, follow, whatever platform you're on and you're seeing this later. Just know that we appreciate you for watching. Comment down below however you're feeling about whatever it is that you're seeing, because, we take time out of our day to create content to come on here, be on here Friday night. We go live every Friday night on TikTok. You know what time it is. Freedom Nation, King Talk Live, customized for you. You already know what time it is. So we here. Man.